In case you aren't familiar with the Solo Corp stat drain method, start with 3 Dragon Warhammer specs to reduce its defense, 18 or more Arc-Light spec to fully drain tack, strength, and the remaining defense, and then Bandos Godsword spec repeatedly until you have dealt a total of 200 damage to completely drain Corp's magic level. This will change the boss into an enemy that can stack you out in a matter of seconds to something that you can just stand next to and repeatedly hit with no consequences. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a Bandos Godsword. Reducing Corp's melee stats is extremely useful because his melee hits very hard, but another large portion of the damage comes from his very accurate and strong magic attacks. Everything else in the game that can drain magic levels either doesn't stack or is so bad at reducing stats that it probably isn't even possible with them. Except you may already be aware of the Din's Bulwark spec, how it hits your primary target twice and also hits anything around you in a 11 by 11 tile radius. While the game doesn't say this anywhere, it also reduces the highest defensive stat of its target by 5%. As a result, it's the next best thing compared to the Bandos Godsword. There isn't anything else that could realistically lower Corp's magic level to 0. That doesn't make it good, though. Credit where credit is due, using Dins at Corp was a somewhat legitimate strategy at some point. This video by Satyr shows a method where you place over half the Arc-Light specs with Din specs. 2 problems nowadays, though. 1, this method still incorporates the BGS, and 2, originally when you would spec with the Dins, both hits would apply the stat drain. According to the devs, that was never intentional, and in December of 2021, they made it so the stat drain only happens once per attack. Anyway, let's actually try this. Hammer and Emberlight specs are done. It took about 6 minutes, and it could have been closer to 5, but I missed, like, the first 8 Hammer specs that I tried before actually hitting one. In terms of how many Din specs I should do, I have no idea. I didn't crunch any numbers or anything. So I ultimately decided to go for a modest 41 Din specs. This took 8 minutes, which is not good. When I actually went into fight Corp, though, it's working. Like, it makes sense that it would work, but it is very ridiculous that it does, but he doesn't hit me. It's like I'd lowered his mage with the BGS instead. And in terms of the total time it took to kill, the game says 19 minutes. I will add in that my friend M. Karma said that his stat drain kills usually take about 9 minutes, and he does, of course, have a BGS, and he has slightly better gear as well. In summary, do I think you should do this? No!